Uh-oh. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if you can see me. I'm having technical difficulties here. But anyway, hopefully you can see me because I can't see me. So somebody please let me know if I am live or not. It seems I seem to be having technical difficulties here. Well, hopefully you can see me because I can't see me. I'm going to check this out. Let's check this out. Check it out. Let's see. No, I see there's no. Check it out. There's no video. There we go. Wow. One simple flick of the switch and I was there. Always a challenge, but I was determined to make it. So thank you for bearing with me. Okay, Matt White here for Sussex Beard Oil Merchants here in the wonderful town, the sunny town of Sussex, New Brunswick. Excuse me, clear my throat a couple of times. Frog in my throat. Anyway, here I am in the office slash fun room slash barber corner slash everything right now because it's in the middle of transition. This room is transitioning from just an office into a music room also. So I have my guitar hanging on the wall and other instruments coming in. So, which is appropriate to talk about. So anyway, welcome to Monday with Matt. And this week I had determined a few weeks ago I was going to talk more on this. I think I've talked about this before, but this week I was determined we were going to revisit something that I visited before, and that is the subject of self-care. Okay, so anyway, we're going to get to that. Excuse me. So a few little household items, just few, just trying to think of any news. I can't think of anything really, other than the weather is so changing. And with that comes activities that are outdoor activities. Now, there's a couple of outdoor activities that I'm pretty excited about. One is just being outdoors, okay, that's one. And then the other one is there's one that goes like this, okay, this hand, in the last, like when the sunshine came out this morning, like my hand started to automatically put on the gas. Anyway, yes. So hopefully by the end of this week or sometime this week, I go get my motorcycle. I get the old BSA to put it back on the road. So I'm very excited about that. That has a lot to do, somewhat to do with this week's Monday with Matt. So anyway, also just make sure that you know this is a weekly video journal or a weekly just, hey, how are you kind of thing, or a weekly just in case something new, like we might have a new product. We might have some news from the production line or news from the idea line, whatever. So I just take these weekly things, and sometimes we have guests that come in, just so you know, and you know, you never know who's going to be hanging out on our Monday with Matt. So, all right. So what I want to do is, without thinking, without really taking a whole lot of thinking to it, a lot of thought, a whole lot of thinking, what comes to your mind when you think of self-care first thing that comes to your mind? I think it's pretty well self-explanatory, but sometimes, especially guy brains, I'm not going to pick on anybody, but guy brains, we deflect this whole idea. So I'm going to get into that a little bit. Now, I am no way, hey, Joey, I'm in no way pretending to be an authority on this subject. Almost the opposite, because of the need I see of it. I have purposely shied away from it. And that's why I want to talk about it, because it's such an important subject. So, according to the World Health Organization, now when you see World Health Organization, some of you are going to say, oh, them again, or whatever. Hey, Brent. And then some of you still see the World Health Organization as an authority on world health. And they should be. I mean, let's not get too quibbly about it, but they should be. So they define self-care as the ability of individuals, families, and communities to promote health, prevent disease, maintain health, and to cope with illness and disability with or without the support of healthcare provider. According to this definition, self-care includes everything related to staying physically healthy, including hygiene, nutrition, and seeking medical care when needed. It's all the steps an individual can take to manage stressors in his or her life and take care of his or her own health and well-being. Pretty good explanation. And we would all say, oh, but I'm good at that. I take care of myself and blah, blah, blah. But in general terms, how good are you and I'm talking to the manfolk out there, I'm talking to you, how good are you at this self-care business? Or are you, and I want to get into this very quickly. This is not going to be a long drawn out thing. I want to just poke and run, okay? This is going to be just a cut and run, okay? So one of the main goals in this that I want to really focus on is to improve. Taking steps, self-care is taking steps to improve your position, to improve your health, to improve your mental health. That's what we're talking about, okay? And most times in life, most times in everyday life, this is an issue. But now, compiled on top of the everyday issue, we have anxiety and depression is on an uprise during this pandemic, okay? And so a lot of people are concerned, a lot of people are anxious, a lot of people are feeling like, closed in on. And so this is why this has become such a hot button lately. Everywhere I turn, it's talking about self-care, and companies are finally getting that, something has to be done. One of the things I want to talk to you about that has to be done is later on down this list. Try to stay to my list because I did this in order so I wouldn't go off on a bunny trail, okay? And listen, as I'm going through this, some of you are live. Please feel free to make a comment. Those that see this later on either our YouTube channel or Facebook page, whenever you see this or whatever it's shared on, feel free to comment, and maybe somebody will see that comment. We will look for it and try to answer that the best we can. But again, not being an authority on this, but there's a reason why I'm pushing this little hot button now. There's a reason. I want to tell you what the reason is, okay? Okay, now some organizations, some authorities, some people who study these things believe that men are far, far behind this whole subject. They feel they're behind their understanding and also their practices. So that's where I come in. That's why I wanted to talk on Monday with Matt, because this is, I'm representing not only Sussex Beard Oil Merchants, which was started because of this subject. It was started out of my own personal need for self-care when it came to my beard and my hygiene and all that stuff. That's what it came out of. And also having dealt with and been involved in other men issues and other organizations, and now being involved in the barbering industry, I see firsthand the need and the requirements for us to talk about this a little bit more. And so hopefully I'm really hoping if one person listens to this and becomes more aware of their need for self-care, then this is worth it. Just one person. So wherever you are, I'm looking for you. Okay? So again, I have seen it throughout my business since I've started it. And I've seen it, and one of the things I've seen is, especially with having a product that is a very personal product for men, I've seen the reaction of men when you introduce them to it for the first time. Like now, it's pretty mainstream. Beer products are more mainstream now than before. But when I was introducing them for the first time, and nobody's ever heard of them, I'm not sure why I did that. But anyway, nobody's ever heard of them. The first thing men say, "Oh, I don't need that. What would I need that for? Just wake up in the morning and it is what it is." And those are the attitudes that you start to see and start to hear about. And those are not, unfortunately, those are very natural tendencies for men to go after, to say, "Look, I don't, and so on." So anyway, so men tend to, and this is generally speaking, not everyone's the same, but generally men are awkward when it comes to talking about self-care. That's why you don't see a lot of things that cater to that in mainstream. So the deal is, how do we improve? What do we do? What should we do now? So here's what we should do. Some of the things that I listed, and you are free, feel free to make a comment or whatever if this is worth it to you, or hopefully you find this handy. Feel free to make a comment. So things that we need to do to improve this situation is educate. We need to talk. Conversation. Boys, some of you aren't really good at conversing. We need to change that. Talk to somebody. Talk. This is, and again, this is the reason I get into this business in the first place, is to have better products and services available for the self-care place, right? Having products that are geared towards men, products that are developed and styled towards men that men can relate to, and also services that men are comfortable in getting. Like the shop that I work in, we try to create an atmosphere that when men come in, they love sitting in the chair and they love the atmosphere. I had a young boy, he just turned 13. He has come back to my chair because of how he felt when he left. We laughed with him, we celebrated with him, he got a good service. We made sure that he got the same service that everybody else gets, but he wants to come back because the way it made him feel. Because self-care is about the way you feel. And so I'm seeing firsthand, and one of the other things I see is when men will come in, "I just need a haircut. I don't care what it looks like, or I don't care, just it'll all grow back." It's like they're so afraid to take a moment and actually care for themselves that they try to make an excuse of why they're getting a haircut. Can't you get a haircut? And I often say to them when they get a haircut, "How does that feel?" Like, I want you to feel something. It's important that you feel, "Wow, that feels great." You know what? Maybe that extra service of I have a neck splash that I do when I shave the back of the neck. I splash the back of the neck with this mixture of vodka, and it's just like, oh, it just makes, anyway. So it's stuff like that is about making you feel better. And we need to do a better job at not only demanding better products and services, but seeking those out and finding them wherever they are. All right. Don't mean to rant, but this is an important subject, especially as of today, the day that we're in, because I'm seeing firsthand. I see men walk into the shop. I talk to men all the time, and it is a big subject. So I just wanted to address it. And again, one of the things on my list, don't be afraid to take the time. Take the time. Like I told you, one of the reasons I get into this, I later discovered, was the earliest memory I have of my father. My father had the most amazing white hair. I mean, it was wavy and there was lots of it. And he just, that first thing in the morning, he would take a comb. He would take a comb and he would just, I watch him in front of the mirror, just take and comb that back, right? And then he would look at the mirror, and I know, looking back at that time in my father's life, his life was not easy. There was some rough moments. He had lost piles of money during a recession time. And I remember looking back at that as a kid, not knowing what was going on, but things were tough. But he took that time in the morning, he would comb his hair, look at himself in the mirror, and he almost like he was saying, okay, I'm ready. I've done everything I can do to make myself ready and prepare myself for what the day will bring. So there. So that is etched into my mind as a very important thing to do, is to take that time to, that's why we developed the soap, even for washing the face in the morning, that's got such a vibrant scent and such a vibrant feeling that when you put it, the skin comes alive, the hair comes alive. It's about the feeling, right? It's about making you feel energized and feel good about the day. So that's a very important thing. And some people forget that. Very close to a rant. Okay, so in concluding, coming to a closure in this, I want you to find simple steps that you can make. Find what works for you. Some of you, it's about doing things that make you relax, doing things that make you feel better about yourself. But again, self-care is about, the hygiene, it's about nutrition. You are what you eat. And I know I struggle with that myself all the time, is that when I eat well, I feel well. When I exercise, I want to eat well. Simple thing like, first thing I do when I wake up in the morning, I hit the floor and I do push-ups. First thing, before I even do anything, before my brain is even engaged, I hit the floor and I do push-ups. For me, that's about self-care. It's about making myself feel aware. Yeah, that's it, Brent. You got it. You know what I'm talking about. And when you see that people do that around you, and especially when it was your father, it's a good thing to see. Um, and you know what? Your last thing you said, making the bed. You'd be surprised what making your bed in the morning does to your day. Okay? I know that some of you have wives that will, and girlfriends and partners that will say, "What? Make the bed." Anyway, so what? It does make, again, it's about preparing yourself for the day. So anyway, this is it. This is all the time I have. And I just wanted to leave you with that today to tell you it's so important. So don't forget, visit our website. We have a blog site there all the time. We have new information coming in, new product coming in all the time. The whole thing behind Sussex Beard is about you feeling good about yourself, because you deserve it. You're awesome. You're wonderful. I want to make sure you know, somebody just said that to you right now. I'm going to look right in the camera and I'm going to say, you're awesome. And don't forget it. Look after yourself. This is Matt White for Sussex Beard Oil Merchants and the Sussex Barber saying, hope you have a wonderful week. This has been Monday with Matt, and I want to thank you for joining me here live on Facebook, YouTube. Subscribe to the YouTube channel and send us a message anytime you get a chance. And that will be awesome. So thank you so much. Whoops, I just stopped the video and I didn't do anything else, did I? There we go. Oh gosh, this is so much fun. I don't want to end it. How do you end something like this? Here we go. End stream.